Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Uh, Today in this video lesson, we will see that if gases exert pressure on the walls of container in which they are kept, the pressure exerted by gases, we will see just like we have seen in previous lesson about liquids, that liquids exert pressure on the walls of container in which they are kept. Okay, to understand this, take the example of the balloon. This is inflated balloon, but when the balloon is not inflated and if it is deflated, or means there is no air inside it, it is the size of like this. It's a rubber piece of rubber, thin rubber balloon. When we inflate air in it, it uh, the air inside the balloon exerts pressure on the walls of this rubber balloon, and it extends, it expands, and the size of the rubber balloon, we can see, goes bigger and bigger as much as air we inflate inside the rubber balloon. So you can see that it is because of the pressure exerted by the air on the walls of this uh, rubber balloon. Another example, see, this is a bicycle. When the tire of the bicycle is punctured like this, you can see that it cannot move. So when we inflate air in the bicycle, in the tire of a bicycle, the air we inflate in the tube or tire of the bicycle, the air exerts pressure on its walls, and the walls of the cycle tire, they extend, they expand and assume this shape. Again, it shows that the air we have inflated in the bicycle tire and or tube, it exerts pressure on the walls of the tire and it expands. We can take example, another example from this. This is a mm, boat that is inflated with air. When it is inflated with air, it assumes the size like a boat. But when we deflate it, that means we remove the air, it will not be in the shape of the boat. It will be just like a piece of rubber, or what material it is, a piece of cloth or piece of rubber. It will not be like the shape of a boat, and it will not help uh, in moving on the water. Okay, this is another example. If you have football or volleyball, when you inflate air in this, it will be like a solid ball. You can play, you can kick, you can throw. But when there is no air inside or we deflate it, it will not be like that, like this ball. It will be like this. You will be unable to kick, throw, catch this ball. Again, it shows that the ball assumes the shape like one it's given in the picture. When we inflate air in it, the air exerts pressure on the walls of this football or volleyball, so it gives you a proper shape and you can play with the ball. Okay, Do gases also exert pressure? Do they also exert pressure on the walls of the container like liquids do? Your answer will be yes. From these activities, from these examples, it is clear that gases also exert pressure on the walls of the container in which they are kept. You may have seen the fountain of water coming out of the leaking joints or holes in a pipe supplying the water. Very forcibly it comes out. It is because of the pressure on the walls of pipe that water comes very forcibly from the holes in the pipe supplying the water, or uh, it is due to the pressure exerted by the water on the walls of pipe. Same is the case. The gas also exerts pressure on the walls in which the gas is kept, any air is kept. Okay. Do you recall what happens to air in the bicycle tube? I have shown you in the picture that the bicycle tube, when it was punctured, the air came out. There is no air inside, so there is no pressure on the walls of this uh, tire or tube. But when we inflated the tube, we find that gases too exert pressure on the walls of the container, just like in case of balloon and cycle tire. Okay, when we inflate a balloon or a cycle tube, we have to make sure that the mouth uh, we have to be closer to the mouth of the balloon. We have to close it very tightly, otherwise the air will leak from that and it will not exert full pressure on the walls of the balloon, on the walls of the cycle tire. You have to make sure that the mouth from which you through which you insert or inflate the air, it should be kept very tightly closer so that no leakage takes place, and the air, inflated air, it will exert good pressure on the walls of the container, as in case of cycle tube or balloon.